after another amazing test match here at Headingley. Two microphones here. Who wants to lead us off? Oh, okay.
Done.
Passing to the next one.
Pat, the third nail biter in a row, what do you think made the difference, the small margins this time?
There's quite a few, I think. Almost every day. Day one, Mitchie got us back in the game and Trav. Then we lost, 6 for 20 or 30. I think the next day we, their tail put on a good partnership with Stokes. Then head of the game, batting in sunlight kind of on day two and probably missed that opportunity. So yeah, various opportunities, but another great test match.
Hey Pat, I guess two players who made a really big difference were the two who came in for England in Mark Wood and Chris Wokes. Does that make you think about where you are now, where the team is now, just as far as freshness goes?
You could make an argument we did the same really with Mitchie Marsh. But no, I don't think so. We've got a 9-day break now, so everyone's will be fit for Manchester. We've had the luxury of kind of managing our fast bowlers through the 4 test matches, so always feel like we've got some freshness.
Pat, Todd Murphy barely bowled. What was the thinking there?
Mainly just conditions based. Didn't quite spin as much as we thought it would, probably didn't bowl as many overs as we thought we would as well. I think we bowled 1 to 60 both innings, so would have liked to get Toddy into the game a bit more, but I'm sure next week at Manchester will be a bit more spin friendly.
Sorry, I was going to ask someone, but just generally, Pat, in the last sort of 8 runs there where they needed the runs, were you sort of happy with the way you did your fields? Obviously, you had a lot of men back on the boundary, wickets required. Sort of talk us through the thinking of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have another look at it and see if there's anything we might do differently. Still felt like the ball there was a little bit in there, so kind of happy to give away a single, but still felt like we left our catches in the 2 or 3 slips where you felt like you're going to take your wickets anyway. I think overall not bad. You might look at it a few different ways to go about it, but felt like we made some decent decisions out there.
As the series heads to Manchester, do you fear maybe momentum has shifted in England's favour here?
Not really, no.
Why not?
2-1.
Too long?
No, 2-1.
Oh, 2-1. So you still feel confident you can seal it in Manchester then, despite what's happened here? It's not going to affect your confidence going?
No, not at all. Every test you start from fresh.
Pat, every test so far has almost gone right down to the wire. What's that like for you as players? How much does that sort of take out of you physically and also sort of mentally? It must be quite a toll.
Yeah, it's not my preference, but they've been great viewing. I think... I don't know really. It's just tense out there. You want to make sure your decision making's right, you see some players stand up. So it's great cricket. I actually really enjoy being out there and feeling like you've got some kind of control over the situation and you're in the middle of it. It's actually 100 times worse when you're in the changing room. You wish you could do something about it, but you can't.
Mitch made a fabulous 100, which sort of dragged you back into the game, and Davey failed twice against Broad, I think first over both times from memory. What would your thinking be about keeping Mitch and dumping Davey?
You keep all options open. We've got, I think, 9 or 10 days now, so we'll take a deep breath. We'll kind of go away for a few days. But everyone comes back into it. Greenie should be fit for Manchester. Josh will be back in there as well, so we should have a full roster and kind of we'll have a look at the wicket and have a chat and work out the best 11.
So if Green's fit, is it possible to drop Mitch Marsh?
It's possible, but it was a pretty impressive week, wasn't it? So,
Pat, I was going to ask a similar question to straight down the middle. Hey, I was going to ask a similar question to what was asked before, but I guess it's been such a successful tour over here so far. I guess how does it feel to have a result not go your way?
We're all kind of used to it, playing cricket. It's normally a winner and a loser. So we've had a wonderful run up until now, winning the first 3 matches of this tour. So it's a shame, and I think it's one of those games you can look at and everyone kind of feels like you could have done something a little bit different that might have contributed to a different result. But we've all played enough cricket, so brush this one off and make sure we get ready for Manchester.
Pat, pantomime booing is nothing new, it's all part of the show, but do you feel at any stage in the last 4 days the atmosphere or attitude towards your players overstepped the mark at all?
Not that I heard of. I actually thought probably in Edgbaston the crowd was a bit louder than this one. So it's all part of it. I thought the crowd were fine.
Pat, I imagine Mitch might have not been Mitch Stark might not have been that happy with you when you kind of ran into him on that catch. Can you talk us through that and how you thought he bowled in this test, the second innings in particular?
Yeah, he was all right knowing that I caught it. I thought he was fantastic. I thought in the first innings he bowled really well without much reward. I thought that was a class act, today and last night as well. He's really versatile now. You've seen him bowl the wobble seam. He can swing the ball. He can use his bouncers. Still got that Yorker. So he's just becoming more and more complete of a bowler every time he plays out here. And as a captain, it's luxury to have a left armer who's in that control of his skill and pace. So I thought he was fantastic.
Can I just ask as well? You said before the World Test Championship final you wanted to play all 6 tests on this tour. How are you going after doing 2/3 of that? You need a rest?
I feel great, actually. Probably better than I would have hoped. Don't have any niggles or injuries, so fingers crossed. Should be sweet.
Pat, just from a captaincy perspective, when you have a series like this, every match, there seems to be a twist every 25 minutes or so. Is it it's almost like as strategic as a T20 game where you're looking at like 15 minutes, breaking it down to 15 minutes and seeing what's working and what's not, and like just the challenge of it?
Yeah, I think that's a good call. I think it's similar to a T20 or a one-dayer where you've got probably just that extra layer of trying to save boundaries as well as trying to take wickets, and you might have a totally different field to one batter. It might be both right-handers, but you've got a bouncer playing to one and the other guy you're trying to be quite conventional to. So it's enjoyable. It's good fun. You've always got to be thinking on your feet. It doesn't feel like the game kind of ever has lulls. There's always something going on. So it feels a bit more like a one-day.
Pat, Mark Wood's pace obviously had quite a big influence on this game compared with the last 2 matches. What will you do to try and improve against that in the 9 days you have off, and how generally did you find facing him?
Yeah, I thought he bowled really, really well. He was impressive, extra pace, bit of swing as well. He was. I think he was man of the match and well deserved. It's not something new. We face fast bowling all the time in Australia, fast bouncy wickets. So I'm sure everyone will go back and have their plans, and we've had a look at him now. So try and come up with some plans. But I thought he bowled really well.
Looks like the last one.
Pat, it's a Sunday day for Headingley. England have just won through a tense chase. Does it feel different to last time, and if so, how?
No, it does. How? I don't know. It wasn't one big partnership. It was. I think this game ebbed and flowed kind of the whole way through, whereas I think that one in 2019 we'll probably ahead for most of it.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks.